welcome to my first English video, because I get so often asked to make a short video of how to build in the Autoloader in English. I will try it. My English is not the best, but should be understandable for all who are speaking as less English as I do. What do we need? I will try to make it shorter than the last video of January, because there it was very long. You need a trailer you want to add the autoload function to. I have no own trailers. Be careful to use only your own trailers and don't to republish trailers of other modders, because this is mod stealing and not legal. Who follows me knows that I'm interested in having good mods from the original modders. And so for yourself you can add this functionality to any trailer, but for publishing this you need the allowance of all modders of the original mods. So please take this into account. I just take one trailer from the mod hub, because I do not want to publish it. I just want to show it here. This is a nice one because it's not so big. No big options possibility, which lead us to see different things. So download this, whatever you want, and download the SEK of mine as reference. So then extract the autoload, because in the autoload we need to look into the model. So you need the GE, the Giants editor, and you need a text editor. What I've prepared is I have also downloaded and extracted the trailer I want to change and put it into my mods folder. So now let's go into the trailer, E3D, and then you will see here the E3D. All we need to do here is to add trigger areas. For this we take as reference the SEK. You see, this is the Trautmann SEK. And here we can see what I have done. It is this here is the autoloader part, and a part of this you have to add. You see here 1, 2, 3 trigger areas, 2 pickups, 1 left, 1 right, and a load area trigger. The loading trigger is to define where is the data, where are the pallets loaded, and the trigger area is from where they are picked up. So let's have a look here. We have here one main component and different components here. So what we first need is to create here our own thing. So we make a transform group and call it Autoloader. This we can now cut and paste here in. What we need is a geometric cube. We call it load trigger. We put it also here in. So now we have just with Control X, Control V in. So now I will make here the autoload. I have here the center, and to make it myself easy, I will just put it up. I'll just move it a little bit around so that the center is in the center. Now you need to know how much you want to load in the high and where will your 0 point be. But this can be done later. The easiest way is to have this on the ground, nearly on the ground, not too deep, because then you have to move it later. Then you take the cube and then you make the cube as big as the loading area. Then you make the cube, I say, 2 meters high, and then you move it 1 meter up, because of the half, and then you see this is my loading area. Now I copy the loading area, just copy paste and call it pickup trigger 1. The only thing I now do is I put it back again, then I'm nearly on this case on the ground, and then I want to move it in to here. So I move it a little bit here so that there is enough space between, and I see, okay, it's 278, I make 28. Then I go, I copy that again and paste it again and make it pickup trigger 2. And then I'm going to take the x-axis and make minus. Clear. So the areas are defined, but currently they are not trigger areas. So let's have a look into the reference model. We have here the loading trigger. And now we see here the settings. Making the rest a little bit smaller so we can see. We have here a rigid body. And we have here collision mask, collision, and trigger. Sorry that this is in German, but I don't want to reinstall that. And the last time I changed there, the language means I had to reinstall it afterwards to get back to German. So we are activating the regX body, going here and say kinetic, because it has to move with the trailer, making here trigger available. And then we have here the collision mask. We can copy here. And as you see, all of them has the same mask. So we go here and say, this is my collision mask. But it's still visible. Yeah, no problem. That is here not viewable. And as we see here in the reference, there are a lot of more, but they are not needed because of to calculate shadows, and so it's not needed to calculate shadows, so we can leave it as it is. So we're now making here the same. We make a regX body, kinematic, trigger, collision mask, and not viewable. You can also make one of them and then copy it, of course. But be careful on copy, it not always takes all things. So when we now click on, we see these are the areas. The load trigger, we can also now see that we have here, we can't change the scale anymore. That is because of the regix body. You can't scale it afterwards. So let's keep it as it is. And we will come back later to that values. But this is all we need to change into the 3D model. So now we are taking the mod desk of the mod. I had to close some of these things here. So, and we are taking the mod desk of the SAK. Here we find a vehicle type declaration. It says trailer additional this. And we find the dependency. So we take the dependency, go into the mod desk of the target and copy the dependency inside. Then we take the vehicle type and also copy that inside. I make now here, I leave it as it is, but you can call it anything you want. Important is that you use that as it is. So now let's open the SAK and the target XML files. What we now need to do is we have here the, can close the mod desk of the original. So we can now take this type and put this type in the new trailer. Here you see is trailer, so that the parent is trailer, so it's the same definition, additionally the autoload definition. So when I now see here, it's a lot of things which can be done. And we see here that there is a fill unit declaration of different things. We have here a default with capacity 0, all with capacity 0, but this should not affect us now. We will just take the Pallet Autoloader configuration. This is this here from the reference. And for the first step, just copy it. Not more, just copy it. What have we here? We have the autoloader with the configuration. That's important, the S. And therein we have multiple configurations. That means we have a configuration without, because there is nothing in, and a configuration with. In our case, we only want to use one configuration, so I will remove the other ones, but important is you have here the autoload object settings. You think you can do it, but you don't need to. Here you can define the different sizes. So how many objects of which type he can load. If you don't give this, it is automatically done the maximum based on, for example, the width, the height. So I will remove now here everything else. I will make here a 600 of max objects. Oops, I have done wrong. Be careful that you do it XML conform. I'm making here 600. Use bales, yes I want. Use tension belts, yes I want. Unload offset. So we got unload offset is meaning when unloading. He is not using the load trigger. He is using the unload. But we have make here the pickup trigger and make it 280 to the right, 280 to the left. So we're making here 280, 280, 1 meter down. We can later check if that is fine or if we had to adjust. So we need here now trigger node and pickup node. And so this is defined in the bottom. That are these things here. We will copy that into the new one in the E3D mappings. But now they are wrong. They are wrong because of these are the wrong nodes. So let's go to the Giants editor again. And here we see this is the node of the load trigger. So we will paste that here in. Then the pickup node is within 1 and within 2. If you don't believe me, look here. 1 and 2. So we now have the definition of where these points are. So back to the autoloader configuration. So we have the trigger node and the pickup node. You can have more pickup nodes if you want to load from behind or somewhere. That's your decision. So we need a load area with a base node. Base node is where do I reference to for calculating loading stuff. And there I will take the autoloader node I've done here. Now I show you can also use this here, and not only the named, you can also use the directly one. So now left right corner, unlucky name, meant is the front left corner. So to get that now nearly right, we have here the load trigger, and it is it has a length of 4.1. So I will say 4.1. I go here now. This is the height. I make here minus 0.5 because I think it's let's have a look. No, it's directly on. So the height should be 0. The one to the front, because of we have here a length of nearly 4.2. So this will be let's take 2.1 at the start. We have here a width of 2 meter 13, so we will make here 1 meter 5. So we should now have defined this point. So we make now a width of 2 meter 10, and we make a length of 4 meter 20, and let's say a height of 265, because then we can load the big bales. I don't know if 210 is enough for the big bales, but we will see. And at the end, this should it be. I have save it. I have added this directly to my mod folder, and I've prepared test thing where I already bought the default trailer. You see, it says it requires now the Pallet Autoloader. Was not activated until now in my game, but this will be automatically corrected in the single player. On the server you get only the hint that there is a reference missing, but not which. So let's save it so that we don't get this again, and let's have a look into the mods. We can now here see that nothing has changed. Also, everything is as it was before. Oops, that was the wrong button. Start it again. When you have now made something wrong inside the XML, inside the E3D or something like that, you will see errors inside your log. So I open the log, going in again. And as you see, when I put here in, no errors are there. Fine. So I already bought one and put a trailer, truck before. And now let's have a look into the F1, if it is running. And we see here we can load Euro Pallet. And we have the loading type, and with B we can activate it. Now we are pressing Control U. With Control U we show the visualization of... Oh, it's only shown when I'm in the car, okay. The visualization of what we have done with the loading area. So what we now see is the loading area is on the trailer. Perhaps too deep. We will see if it is blocked or not when we try to load something. We see the white and the height. The white, not the height, the white. From left to right we see, okay, it is in the middle, so that has worked. The front edge is not so bad, and the back edge is also not so bad. So what we now need is to do some loading test stuff. So I drive to the field. Here's my test field. And then helpful is something like the easy def controls, where you can just say, okay, I'm taking here an some of them. Now I activate it with selected Euro pallets, and now I can see woods loaded. So we can see that it is loaded, so the high is fine. With E we can unload. But what you have seen, you don't see the unloading area. When I now press F4, you see it's under the ground, so it's too high. You see it's now stucking into the roof. Floor. Okay, so quitting that, and we see, okay, -1 is not fine. We're making 0.5. We also seen we have some more room in the white, so we're taking here, let's take 20 centimeter more for the white, and then we're taking here, because we have our references in the middle, we're taking here also the right one to put it into the middle. Now let's start it again and look if we can now also move it away. I see now that I've pressed the wrong button inside the OBS. I accidentally pressed the streaming button instead of the loading button. So first let's load it again. So now we see it's just over the floor. You can adjust that to be nearer at the floor, far away, all you want, but now it is unloaded fine. So let's have a look what we can load. with the width and the height. We see now there is it's a little bit better fitting on the ground. So now let's go. What can we load? We can load 14 Euro pallets, 3 liquid tanks, 3 big pallets, big bags, 8 overloaded Euro pallets, 12, 8 round bales, 125, 154, 180 also, 4, 48 square bales, 120, square bales, 189. So we see here 3 markings, which means 3 in 1 layer, and then 3 layer high. Same for 220, and then we came to 240, and as you see here, only 1, because 2 will not fit on that size. As remembering, our size is 220, so you can't load 240 in from left to right. Okay, and then we are back to Euro pallets. But this was all the magic of building it in. Nothing more and nothing less. That's all. I hope you find this video interesting, and if you need more help, you're welcome to the Discord to see everything. And in this case, have a nice day, and see you next time.